So a lot of people in Roblox SCP 3008 build bases. It's one of the main points of the game. You gotta survive and build a nice base. And base building may seem very easy, but there's still a lot of mistakes even pro Roblox SCP 3008 players who, play the game every day still make. So in today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the Roblox SCP 3008 building mistakes that you should never make when creating a base. And of course, for those who need an intro, howdy, Raid here. Welcome back to an all new video. If you guys are new to the channel and do want more Roblox SCP 3008 content, press on that subscribe button down below. Now, I'm gonna zip my mouth and let's just hop right into this video. This may seem like a simple thing to do. It's so funny that this has to be on the list, but I personally have ran past so many bases just without doors. There are actually people who just don't put doors on their bases. Usually these people don't really care. They think that employees can't get to them, but yes, they still can. And of course, putting a door on your base doesn't mean that you just have to create an opening. Remember to make it super secure. Doors in 3008 are super important. Once you have one in your base, you're better than like 30% of players out there building bases. Those are like the, architecture noobs. Even if your base is secluded away from all employees in a far corner of the map, even if it's a sky base, you're still in danger because if it becomes Blood Night and you're outside, you try to run back to your base and you get followed by employees, you're practically dead. You've got no way to hide in your base and be protected because you're the one who made a nice big entrance for the employees. Remember guys, build doors, they'll save your life. Now this one is something that a lot of people don't like to do, and that's to create a base far away from other people. If you create a nice and secure base far away from other people, not only are you safe from griefers because you're in a secluded part of the map where most people don't run by, but you're also safe from employees who may be chasing someone else that may live next to you. Basically, if you're the type of person to have random people be your neighbor in 3008, let's just say a nice little bacon-haired noob moves in the next plot. If that bacon-haired noob gets chased by an employee in the night and gets killed, that employee is going to run to your base next once they see you. It's practically something called mutually assured destruction. If the bacon hair dies, so do you. You guys are kind of making a contract by living together in the same area. And this doesn't mean you shouldn't live with your friends. If you're making a little town with your friends, that's a little safer. It's just much harder to communicate with randoms that you don't really know in the chat. And for those who don't know how to find a secluded area where not a lot of people make bases, it's really simple. Before you settle down on a plot and build, try to look around the area. It's really simple. You just check how many employees are there and if anybody has built a base. What you really want is for there to be no bases in your immediate vicinity, and then kind of look 5 plots down from each direction of your plot to see how many people have built there. And of course, the less bases around you, the less people, the safer you'll be.
Hey guys, Mr. Employee here. If you got this far in the video, leave a like and comment based. And join Raid's Discord server down below.
So for this tip, you have to know that Roblox SCP 3008 has a day and night cycle. A lot of people know that because they have the timer Game Pass. And it really doesn't matter if you have this Game Pass or not. Basically, what does matter is saving your time. If you're a lot like me and spend lots of time putting your base together, trying to make the perfect base, usually you're building well into the night. One moment it's morning, you're just building your walls, and the next second you get to the roof and it becomes night. And in no way is it bad to be a player who likes to put a lot of time in their bases, but saving your time is very important. Never spend too much time on one specific part of your base. Let's just say one wall isn't even, but if you've got 1 minute left and you're building the final 2 walls of your base, don't worry about it. You can make that wall evened out later. As long as you've got 4 walls and a roof and you can live in it, you are fine. And if you're putting a lot of time trying to make one part of your base perfect, you might care about it, but employees won't. because if one part of your base is open, you're dead. And if you begin to save your time in the day by working a lot quicker, that could genuinely help you out even more, because the faster you work on one part of your base, the faster you'll be able to add even more to it, and the more time you'll have to maybe scavenge some food for the day. Now, I'm going to quickly drop a tip inside of this tip. Basically, if you want to save a lot more time and you know it's going to turn night any second, but you found the perfect plot, just take 2 bookshelves or something that could close you in really easily and add them together to make a really tiny base. That's like the easiest time-saving method that's going to help you survive the night. Now, a lot of you may think that with this next tip, I'm trying to say that you guys shouldn't grief, which you really shouldn't. But this tip is actually about stealing bases. You should never really steal bases in general or steal from other people's bases, because if you find a base that's filled up with food that's all new, all fresh, all lit up, and you just move into it, somebody might already be inside of that base. Because trust me when I say this, there are some crazy Roblox SCP 3008 players that will destroy their own base when they find out that you're in it. It's like those kids in the classroom that never want to share their box of crayons or never want to share the markers. They just begin to cry and throw stuff. So be careful moving into bases. Try not to steal anybody's base. And if you're one of the people that likes to find abandoned bases, try to ask in the chat, hey, is this anybody's base, before you take anything. Now, stealing is very bad. I don't condone it at all in any type of form, but if you're gonna try to steal something from somebody's base, don't make it obvious. Don't steal the biggest part. If you can't figure out if a base is abandoned and nobody's replying in the chat, but nobody's in the base, just take something small and come back over time before taking the whole base apart. That way you can make sure that a base is totally abandoned, because if somebody does live there and they see you stealing, they're probably going to chase you down to your base and grief it. And let's be real, nobody likes being griefed. A lot of you guys always talk about materials in bases. Many people use just one material, some people use a lot of different ones. I personally have mentioned before that clean bases are a lot better than clunky bases. You don't want to create your base with like a million different furniture pieces. First of all, it's going to look terrible, but you also don't want to have a super clunky base that'll be hard to add more stuff onto or to even like make other rooms in. And there's no issue with making your base from one material. It'll take a lot more time, but do remember, the more materials, the easier, but the worse it'll look. As long as you try to make your base look neat, you can really make anything come to life that'll look amazing. You just have to put in the work. But just always remember, you're going to be living in this base. You're going to be storing stuff in there. So you want a base that's easier for you. A lot of people think that different types of bases don't matter, but they truly do. For example, it's kind of common knowledge that sky bases are a lot better than ground bases, but it's also known that pillar bases are easier to get to and to make than sky bases themselves. I did mention in this video that the location of your base is important, but in a way, the type of base you make is far more important than that. And all of you guys know that ground bases are the easiest to make, but a lot of people make the mistake of only building ground bases. But as mentioned before, there are so many different types of bases you can make, so try not to just stick to one type of base. Not only is this going to save you in game, but it's going to make your game experience a lot more fun. Imagine if you played Minecraft and only made the same type of building. The game itself would feel extremely mundane, and it's the same exact situation with 3008. You really want to spice things up and make it all creative. And I really hope you guys listen to these tips and try not to make these mistakes, but if you do, that's alright, because we all make them every once in a while.